So my name is Tim SCHAEFFER. I'm the Executive Director of the Fish and Boat Commission. And again, thank you for joining us here at the Five Locks Access. Before I tell you about what it is, I just want to thank the guys who helped to make this happen. We have a staff of about 411 people statewide, and we have maintenance crews that are placed throughout the Commonwealth that just do an unbelievable job maintaining all of our facilities. Bill Carr is our regional supervisor for the maintenance staff. The folks that were involved in this, the project, Terry Donmore, if you guys want to raise your hand, Kim Shore, Russell Rupp is not here today, and then Stu Wenrick, whose first day on the job was Monday, so he didn't fix it, but he's going to be the one maintaining it. So again, those are the ones that get all the credit for this. So thank you guys for bringing this back. So, you know, it's no secret that last year just saw a boom in outdoor recreation. We continue to see it. The folks at the Greenway know better than anybody. I lost count of the number of kayaks I saw on the tops of the cars here as I came up Route 81 and Route 78. So it's here. We know it's big. For us, it coincided with the renewal of our strategic plan. Rick Kaufman, who's our local commissioner here in Berks County, was an integral part of putting the plan together. But we identified public access as one of the primary goals in that plan. One of the things we talked about in the room in Harrisburg, we could still all meet there, was a goal of no net loss of access in Pennsylvania. People thought, you're crazy. I mean, how could you ever have a no net loss of access? You're losing stuff all the time. You're never going to gain new access areas. Well, we are. So, and we really put that challenge out to municipalities across the Commonwealth to look for areas that can reconnect people with the water. We brought something back called our Boating Facilities Grant Program. We know we've worked with our partners at Wildlands on that in the past. If anybody listening here today thinks, man, there's a spot like this somewhere else in the Schuylkill watershed or somewhere else in Berks County, a township park that's overrun with kayaks that could really benefit from a simple access area, let us know. We'd like to talk with you about that. We recently applied for some additional funding from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that builds on some funding we got last year to do more access in the Delaware River watershed. So we are open for business when it comes to access, but we're not going to force anything on anybody. We like to work with willing partners. So if you've got a place locally that could benefit from some work like this, let us know. We'd be happy to talk with you. In addition to the folks that we'll mention here, it doesn't have a speaking part, but Mark, if you could raise your hand. Mark Pisco, a waterways conservation officer, doesn't represent this area, but I really encourage you to make contact with your local WCO. They are our eyes and ears in the public. Aaron, who's our local WCO, was here the day that we took a look at the site before we started the work. But share your thoughts with them. They're here to be a resource for you locally, and we just thank Mark and his counterparts for everything that they do. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, frankly, those guys and him, they get the credit. So again, thanks for joining us for the opening of National Safe Boating Week, but also for the reopening of the Five Locks Access. I have a couple of notes just so I don't want to miss anything. I'm going to turn it over to Chris Cocher soon to make some remarks. He's the president of Wildlands Conservancy, but we acquired this site back in 1994 from the Wildlands Conservancy. It's 21 acres, all open to public access for outdoor recreation. I get the question all the time, can I hunt on your properties? Yes, you can hunt on our properties as long as you abide by safety zone limits. So I know it's not hunting season, but Rick was out sweating his tail off turkey hunting yesterday, so we probably want to know about that. But yeah, our properties are open for public access. We have 3,000 feet of stream frontage. That's 3,000 new feet of stream frontage for people to access the river. And I know we saw some fishermen out there already today fishing for smallmouth bass. So we did install this gravel launch and a concrete plank back in the early 2000s, but like a lot of Berks County, there were battery casings discovered on this property. Again, as I know, that's been a common theme here in Berks County, so we closed it to the public. Worked collaboratively with DEP to get the cleanup done. That was done actually a number of years ago, and then it was just in the last year that we were able to reinvigorate the site, and what we did is put down new gravel, as you can see, clear the brush back. I don't know. Bill, do we have an estimate for how many cars we think we could fit in here?
I'm guessing you could probably get 20, 25.
So, I mean, so it's great to have this. I know there's other access areas not too far away that this is just going to build on. And then we cleaned off the launch ramp. Yeah, I will note as you get in today, the water levels are low at this point, thanks to our maintenance crew for clearing out a path down there. You might get a little muddy as you're going in. But these things do not need to be complicated. That's another thing I wanted to point out to anybody who's interested in connecting to the water. I mean, these don't have to be super duper multi-million-dollar projects. For a little bit of elbow grease and a couple of $1,000, you can get a site like this. So, you know, think big, and we want to keep connecting people to the water. So we're officially reopened here at 5 locks. When you leave here, the gate's not going to close. So, you know, please enjoy this throughout the summer. What we want to do today, I'll turn it over to a couple other guests to make some remarks. First, we have Rick KAUFFMAN, who is our local District 8 Commissioner for the Fish and Boat Commission. As Rick comes up, we have a board of 10 commissioners. 8 of them are geographically based. 2 are boating at large members, and Rick has this part of southeastern PA.
Thanks, Tim. And the first thing I want to do is thank these guys, Bill, the crew, and Paul Urbanik, who's not here, Bureau Chief for our engineering department, for pulling this off, because when we visited, took time to visit here, you wouldn't be standing here right now. And it amplifies one of the things in our mission statement is to provide boating and fishing opportunities. And as Tim said, we as a commission are really committed to providing as many opportunities we can. I live in Leesport, which is just up the road. This has been my home area my entire life, and I know as a young fisherman, teenager, there was nothing in this body of water behind me. People didn't fish. They didn't canoe and kayak like we do now. And through the efforts of all kinds of organizations and partners across Pennsylvania, we now have excellent fishing, excellent opportunities, and we're really glad as a commission that we can continue to provide that. And without partners, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that we do. So thanks to all. And Chris, why don't you come on up and talk a little bit about your goals and you know, how happy you are that this is happening today. So, and again, thanks guys, it's a great job.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Kucker. I'm the president of Wildlands Conservancy, and I really want to just thank everyone for the opportunity to speak today. You know, when I got the call from Tim to come out today, I was really touched. You know, it was over almost 30 years ago that Wildlands Conservancy purchased this property and transferred it to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. And, you know, I think about all the work that Wildlands and the Land Trust community and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has done. And I think of each of these projects as little pebbles. And you complete a project like this and you pat yourself on the back and it's great. And then 30 years go by and you realize how important these little pebbles are. And you look back and there's a whole stack, a whole pile of pebbles that Wildlands and other partners have been able to accomplish. And this is one of those. You know, our journey to today really started back in 1994. And, you know, days like today really remind me of the important work that land trusts and conservation organizations like the Schuylkill River Greenways and others do here in the Commonwealth. It reminds me about the importance of partnerships, and we're truly blessed in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to have the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission and the excellent job they do on not only providing access, but preserving and enhancing our wonderful water resources here in the Commonwealth. It reminds me of how important it is to provide connections to our wonderful natural resources here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and how important, not only in the past year, we've seen increases in usage, but overall, in my lifetime, in our lifetimes, significantly more use of our water resources and our critical natural resources here in the Commonwealth. It also reminds me how important it is to preserve, protect, restore, and enhance the wonderful natural resources that make our Commonwealth so attractive and add so significantly to our quality of life and quality of place here throughout the region. So congratulations to the Fish and Boat Commission. Congratulations to all the partners that were involved in this effort. And I'm thrilled that Wildlands Conservancy was able to play a small part in making today possible. So thank you very much.
So thanks, Chris. Yeah, and again, just thanks to everybody for what you did to get us here. And also, thanks for keeping it the way it is now. one of the biggest things that we hear, statewide, for example, we stop more trout on private water than we do on public water. And what do you think the number one reason that people post their property? Litter. So just thank you in advance for keeping this site. And I frankly, Rick, I had a piece of a shopping cart the day we were here that I took with me that I maybe should have kept as a prop, but that's what I took out of here that day. Take care of these sites. The whole leave no trace mentality for hiking, the same thing applies on the water. So, be respectful, encourage others to be respectful. I'd also say, whenever I go places, I just take a bag with me and pick something up. So just thanks for being good role models for others. And if you do see something here, thanks for doing your part to help keep it clean. Next, I'll introduce ELAINE SCHAEFFER. She spells her name with one F. I have two Fs. No relation. ELAINE's with the Schuylkill River GREENWAYS partnership, and we are back in the game of water trails. Fish and Boat Commission is really happy to be reinvigorated with our boating programs. Laura Landers, who you're going to hear from soon, Adam Spangler, part of a whole new bureau that we created with the endorsement and encouragement of our board of directors. But we're in it with you guys, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tim. And I think you meant to say she spells her name the right way. And I spell my name with a funny F, an extra F. I'm ELAINE SCHAEFFER. I'm the executive director of Schuylkill River GREENWAYS. We are so excited to be here and celebrate this launch opening and christening. And we have a whole team here. We have two board members. We have our Water Trail and Schuylkill River Trail director here, Julia Hurl. Two of the people who are going to christen are our board members. We also have a very special guest here. If any of you do paddle the Schuylkill River, you know the Paddler's Guide to the Schuylkill River. It's like a Bible, a beautiful Bible for where to go, how to use it. And Brian SWISHER, who is the author of that, is joining us, and he will also be christening the launch. And we have members of the Keystone Canoe Club here to do the maiden voyage from this launch. So there's a lot of excitement in the community about this. We couldn't be more excited. The mission of our organization is to connect people and communities to the river, give them access to the river. So our missions could not be more tightly and perfectly aligned. We are basically soul sister organizations with Fish and Boat. And we're thrilled at the level of energy and proactive action that has come out of Fish and Boat in the last 2 years. Thank you, Tim Schaefer. We're thrilled to move forward. To use Chris's analogy, there are a lot more pebbles that need to be put in there, and we're happy and thrilled to work with Fish and Boat to keep getting those pebbles to accumulate. It has been, as Tim said, it has been a crazy year. While everybody else was closing up their offices and, watching a lot of Netflix, we were out there, Fish and Boat was out there, really making sure everyone could enjoy the outdoors, connect with the outdoors, stay sane and stay married. We really appreciate the support. Our gratitude to Fish and Boat, not just for the collaborative efforts, but also for the grant money. I gotta say, we really appreciate that as well. So thank you so much. We're thrilled to be a part of this, and you will keep us going.
Yes, ma'am.
3, 2, 1. Catch ribbon.
Well done, John.
Well, it's interesting because I paddle a lot of places, but if you paddle from Schuylkill Haven to Philadelphia, you basically have a different type of a river almost every day. That's one of the things I like the most about this river. And so you can pick, the face of the river is so different between the narrow upper reaches that are wooded and you get all the way down into the industrialized urban areas and all kinds of things in between. So I like it. But there's rapids, there's quiet water, there's scenic areas, there's a lot of wildlife, as somebody mentioned. The fish population has grown, but because of that, then the whole ecosystem of this river has really, really rebounded. And somebody said they were 62 years old. I think I'm even older, so I've spent my entire life seeing the river rebound from the cold-choked late 40s, early 50s until this. And this is a pretty good river now. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's really, really improved over the years. And you can tell by the breadth of the wildlife that you see and know of. I mean, there's top predators now. There's otters and eagles. So there's, you know, the whole system has really rebounded. And you feel that when you're out there in the water. You see, you know, not only the fun of going through rapids and all this kind of stuff, but you find a lot of peace and solitude in this river. It's a beautiful place.